Hilo Karen, dedicated to the disgraced and fired kindergarten teacher Lisa Platt, who melted down May 2020 at a Walmart in Hilo, Hawaii, and Measuring Tape Karen from Bass Lake, California. What is your day like, Karen, after a public meltdown? After you've been all around town screaming, "All lives matter!" tearing down displays of masks, taking some hard-working minimum wage employee to task for simply asking you to respect the rules they're expected to follow. Do you wallow in your own shit? Or do you even think about it in the quiet of your own home? Maybe you don't have to agree with what the blacks were protesting, but maybe you should have left them the hell alone. Taking your grown ass on and kept your unsolicited opinions and antisocial behavior to yourself. What do you eat, Karen? After a long day of harassing people on the street, do you cook for your family? Sprinkling flakes of your hateful ignorance into the dish? Do you participate in Taco Tuesday challenges after berating someone for speaking Spanish or some other language that ain't American? Would the irony be lost on you? Or is it a lack of connection that goes on in your mind? Is accosting shoppers in a parking lot really the best use of your time? Or is this some unwritten duty as an American secretly disseminated exclusively to a coalition of Karens that the rest of us just don't understand, except maybe your auxiliary chapter of Kevins? Please share with us, Karen. We really want to understand this mind-bending attitude that makes you act in the way that you do. Maybe it's a mutated strain of bigotry released by Agent Orange, an infectious commander-in-chief who would cease all protocols to keep the disease in check, ignored all recommendations from the CDC, and released repressed racism to the rest of the country's disbelief. Tacitly complicit, he'd allow the contagion to run rampant through the streets and set your benign rancor and exemptive entitlement free, while he is assuredly not the genesis of said pathogen, and by all estimates, despite his small, tiny little hands, not quite a woman. He hates them. It's obvious his virulent disdain for logic, truth, and common sense has opened the gate to your fenced-off fanaticism and unleashed a hate-braced epidemic of hyper-Karen-Rona virus syndrome. Biologically, what goes on after your outbursts are through? Like, after you go full Karen, what do your organs do? It would be interesting to measure your blood pressure during and after your rants, comparing your brain activity for revolutionary scientific advancements to develop new drugs to combat stress by observing how instantly you go from a state of seemingly normal to an internet-worthy, all-out mess. It's as if your sympathetic nervous system is damaged. Instead of releasing cortisol to help you manage in moments of stress, yours just makes you racist and pompous and unbearably enfranchised. As a matter of fact, your hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal, and autonomic nervous system axis got to be out of whack. Yours acts upon your eyes, suddenly making everything you perceive a threat to your pale, lost, and empty life. Triggering some rare kind of brain-altering Karen hormone so that no matter how wrong you are, no matter how insane you behave, you think what you do is right and don't know how to leave people the hell alone. Screaming in decibels only perceptible by certain animals in a language only you understand. Instead of taking your ass home, you have an unmovable need to saturate a space with your voice and essence when every other person present would do far better without your presence. And despite your insistence of how that was not you and your claims to wish to change, we all know you're lying. You don't possess the intellectual, emotional, or spiritual range based on a well-documented history of you supposedly trying. You want to turn this moment around and do some good in the world? Deny the internet from ever having to see your face. Get lost wherever wound up Karens go to unfurl and vanish without a trace. Nobody cares about your tears, Karen, or your insincere bumper sticker philosophies. Just do the world a favor and disappear, Karen. None of us want your whack ass apologies. Disco Poetry.